While we're on the subject of palettes, I'm going to show you a few more features in the program that can be used for color mixing and selecting colors in a more natural way. Since we've created this color palette, I'm going to use this to demonstrate building a set of color wells, which can then be used for selecting colors. And the tab here on the sidebar that says color swatch, this is our color well. As you can see, there's just a number of built-in wells that you can select colors from, but sometimes you want to create a custom palette for your picture that you're working on. Say you're working on a landscape or a portrait where you need a set of earth tones or some flesh tones that you specifically want to pick colors from, and I'm going to show you how you can do that using one of the built-in tools. I'll start with this color wheel we built here. We used to call these chickens, by the way, if I recall correctly. I'll just load that in here. Now I'll go to the window, color, and build well from color in buffer. Right there. And as you can see, it's loaded in the set of colors that we already had defined here. And I'm going to bring this over here and click on the button that says Build Well. And after a moment, this will create a set of colors from this image we have here. As you can see, it has all these different colors represented: the reds, the greens, the yellows, and all the in between. This isn't very good looking. There's various options for sorting this palette built in: sort by value, by hue, or by saturation. For our purposes, I'm going to use sort by hue. And now we have a tool to go in and clean this up called Create Spread. And what this does is it just creates a smooth gradient between the two colors I select. So I'll select this button. It pops up a little question mark asking me which colors I want to create a spread between. And say I wanted to create a spread between this white and this kind of greenish yellow here. I click that one, and then I click this one, and it creates a spread in between those colors. And I can just use this tool now to go in and clean up these colors a bit because they're a little erratic still. And I'll just let's see. As you can see there, I've created a more really a more usable version of our well here. I'll go ahead and say okay to that. And if I were painting with this, all I'd have to do now is just go over here and click on this, and I can save this out using the color panel here under options, and just say save color well, and you can save that out. And like I said before, you can cycle through these and all the different ones that have been saved. And I'll show you one more example using some earth tones perhaps. I'll go back to our color by name window here, and this is just basically a window full of different pigments. These are pigments based on traditional pigments used in painting, like lemon yellow, cadmium yellow, cad orange, emerald, viridian, raw sienna, burnt sienna, those kind of things. And we'll pick some colors that are used. Actually, I think I'll do flesh tones for this one. I always like getting out the Naples Yellow. So let me find a something to paint with here. This will work. I'll lay down a few of these colors, and I'll mix some together as well. Let's see. I always like Indian red also when doing flesh tones. I like to mix these together some. Let's see, alizarin crimson. Crimson is pretty good. You like to have some deep reds in there. Oh, let's see, Indian yellow. It's always a good one. As you can see, we're just building up some flesh tones here. It's also good to have some complementary colors, maybe a little bit of viridian or Prussian green. I'll use the viridian in this case. Just put a little bit of that in there, mix it with some of these other colors. And let's see. Good to have a few darker colors like this burnt umber maybe. And we're really already getting a large number of colors here, so I think I'll limit it to that. I might expand the dynamic range to get a little more value out of it, a little more deeper color out of that. And I'll go back to that color, build well from color and buffer. And I'll click that build well button. As you can see here, we've created a color palette using these flesh tones here, and I'll just go ahead and clean this up a bit. The same way I did it before. Just using that create spread button there. And this is a great way to create a palette for a painting. You might create a series of paintings and you would want to use the same palette for it, for example. Or you just might want to have a uniform palette where you'd otherwise be tempted to just select any color off the color well, and you might, if that were the case, you might start painting with some magenta or some real bright green, and the colors just don't really work together, just because you happen to feel like picking those colors. But having this unified palette like this really helps you to create a painting that is very natural looking and bears a resemblance to traditional painting in a big way. And I'll finish this up. Hit OK, and as you can see over here, we have this color well, this color swatch that we can now select that color from and start painting with. And that's just one more thing you can do with color mixing in PD Howler.